Welcome to a new video and a new camera comparison. This time the Honor 70 against the Asus Zenfone 9. Midranger against the compact flagship. Which one will win? Let's get started. So let's check out the cameras. Here we have the 50 megapixel main on the Zenfone 9 and a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and on the Honor 70 we have a 54 megapixel main and a 50 megapixel ultra wide. So on spec sheets, maybe a slight edge to the Honor. Let's check out the front-facing cameras. We have 32 megapixel and 12 megapixels here. And I think we will start up with the selfie cams. So this is the front-facing video camera of selfie cam of the Honor 70. It has a good high dynamic range, but it has a bit of like a resolution problem because 32 megapixels but only Full HD 30. Come on, Honor, you can do better here. Anyway, how's the quality here? How's stabilization and colors on the Honor 70? And this is now the front-facing video of the Zenfone 9. I think HDR is a bit weaker here, though we can record 4K 30 frames per second, which I think is an upgrade to the 1080p 30 that we can only do on the Honor. What do you think about the colors, about stabilization? And there's another thing that you can do on this Zenfone. It has autofocus, so I can show you this up close, which is pretty nice, I would say. And yeah, you have the ability to use this for vlogging, definitely. I'm recording with the Honor 70 and its main camera. This is the brand new 54 megapixel IMX 800 sensor, 1/1.49 inch sized sensor, very large sensor. You get nice background blur with this, and you can record in 4K 30 frames per second. And of course I can switch to the ultra wide angle just by sliding down, and now I'm at the ultra wide angle. That is really ultra wide, 50 megapixel sensor, a little bit of a smaller sensor, but still in this bright situations, daylight situations, you don't have any issues. Let's see how it compares to the Zenfone 9. So, and now I'm recording with the Zenfone 9, and the Zenfone 9 has a gimbal stabilization, so stabilization should be a lot better, 4K 30 as well, but it has some autofocusing issues, so sometimes it's focusing on the background instead of my face. I'm not sure if you can see it here right now as well, but this is the main camera. What you can do, of course, is switch to the ultra wide angle. And this one also can record 4K 30 and is also pretty ultra wide, as you can see here right now, and is also ideal for vlogging. Which one has the better colors, HDR, stabilization and so on? Write it down in the comment section. So here we have the photos. On the left always the Honor 70 and on the right always the Zenfone 9. And I have to be honest, it's really hard to see the difference between the flagship Zenfone 9 and the mid-range, premium mid-ranger Honor 70. You can see this here in this close-up shot with a nice bokeh. Both feature a very large sensor. I think the Honor 71 is a tiny bit larger, and if I zoom in you can see both practically have the same kind of issue, a bit of busy bokeh, more smooth a little bit on the Zenfone 9, but also some parts of the flower are in focus, others are not in focus. In terms of colors, I think we have a bit more punchy colors on the Zenfone 9. You can also see it here in the background bokeh, where the blue is a bit more pronounced and a bit less pronounced on the Honor 70. All in all, a bit more pleasant bokeh on the Zenfone 9. Now the other shot here, where you can clearly see the Honor 70's HDR failed completely, where the Zenfone 9 has a very pleasant HDR here, and yeah, it's brightening up the scene, even the shadows a little bit. But when you zoom in, you can see a slight difference as well in terms of sharpness. Now we can say, oh, it is sharper on the Zenfone 9. It must have the sharper lens, it must have the sharper setup. Actually, it is just over sharpening. Just look at the background here, not at the boat or the ship itself. Just look at the background and see how much of sharpening is applied there in the background, and how much color boost and so on is applied, and just compare it then now with the Honor 70. Much more natural kind of background here, not so much contrast added. Look at those trees, and the grass looks much nicer as well. It's much more natural, even though it's not so sharp. I like it a little bit more because it has a little bit more realistic colors, that's for sure. Otherwise the Zenfone 9 has HDR, which clearly helped here. Zoom in, both don't have a zoom in lens and they are cropping into the sensor, and here I think the Zenfone 9 has a better it deals better with in terms of sharpening. It is still a little bit sharper, sharpening applied. The Honor 70, yeah, almost no sharpening applied, I would say, and a bit darker as well, so struggling with HDR as well. The sky is looking even a bit better. Where is this? Yeah, I think it is looking a little bit better. Let's go, so we have something that we can compare with. There we go. HDR a bit brightened up on the Zenfone 9, a bit darker on the Honor 70, but the clouds looking a little bit less overblown. In terms of detail level, I think on par. There's not much of a difference. Of course, you have a bit more brightened up areas here. Let's take a look at the chip itself. Yeah, you can see it is sharper on the Zenfone 9 for sure. So I think the Zenfone 9 is slightly better in terms of zoom. When we take a look at the ultra wide angle, what we first see is like a much more ultra wide angle on the Honor 17. I think we have 13 millimeters here, and I think we have 15 or 16 millimeters on the Zenfone 9. So that's a big, huge difference. So you can see that the boat here is much closer on the Zenfone 9 and much further away on the Honor 70. This is why you get like also this further away effect here. And of course you don't see so much details then. What we see already on the Zenfone 9 is, again, it looks sharper. It is heavily sharpened up again on the Zenfone 9 to an extent where I would say it's not really my preference. HDR is fine on both, I would say. And the Honor 70 has a bit more smoother look. I think the lens is also not so sharp, especially when we go to the edges here. You can see this wide of a lens has always a problem. It's not getting so sharp. And looking at the same kind of difference here, I think the Zenfone 9 lens is a tiny bit sharper. Could be sharpening applied as well if I see this here, but it's getting unsharp here as well. And before it gets too unsharp, just like on the Honor 70, it just stops. And the same goes for the other side, where we have from the other side here also a lot of fringing going on the Honor 70. So I think that the Zenfone 9 has a tiny bit of better ultra wide angle, but just look at those images. You get a wider field of view on the Honor 70 and it's really not so bad. But HDR also, again, the shadows are lifted a bit on the Zenfone 9, so the Zenfone 9 is doing a better job. Where it's clearly taking better photos is with the ultra wide at close-up focusing. Both have this feature here, and this is why you can compare them, and you can see the Honor 70 is blowing out, is bleeding the reds basically. All the little details of the red flower here are just simply gone, and the Zenfone 9 preserves the details nicely. It has a more natural color. I think also more sharpness towards the center here of the flower that I was photographing. Let's take a look at the other ones here. You can see clearly that the Honor 70 has an issue here with the red color. When it comes to other close-up shots where we don't have so much red in the shot, I think here also both are doing a good job. And here I like the Honor 70 a little bit more because you can see a tiny little bit more of details with the Honor 70. And this is but very close. When we take a look at low light shots, I like the Honor 70 a lot better than the Zenfone 9. Even though the Zenfone 9 is a flagship, it struggles in low light shots. Here it has problems with the auto white balance. It adds some kind of yellowish hue that I don't like. It's also adding heavy sharpening again. And here in low light shots, especially when it comes to stuff that you can read, for example, you can see how badly or how much they add this sharpness in here, which is not doing a favor to the Zenfone 9 in comparison to the Honor 70, which on the first glance doesn't look as sharp, but it's a good amount of sharpness there without over sharpening stuff. And you can see also the colors are a bit more natural on the Honor 70 because the tiles in this bathroom are white. This toothbrush is white. There's a bit of greenish here on the Honor 70 for sure, but it's not as yellowish kind of white as the Zenfone 9 is showing it here. So this is why I like it better. And when we come to ultra low light, there's no competition. The Honor 70 blows away the Zenfone 9, not only in brightness, this would be not an issue, but also in sharpness. Just look at how unsharp this is and just compare it with this one here. So better noise algorithms on the Honor 70 that can keep up and can have everything brighter. Just look at this one here. You can see how much less details you can see on the Zenfone 9. So for sure the Honor 70 is better in this regard. But overall, I think you can see that they're very, very close together. The Zenfone 9, you have to pixel peep to see the difference to the Honor 70. And yeah, the Zenfone 9 is a flagship. The Honor 70 is a mid-ranger. And it's interesting that the mid-ranger can come so close to a flagship device. But overall, I would say I give the pictures to the Zenfone 9 because all the images, even if the Honor 70's main sensor might be tiny bit better than on the Zenfone 9, I think the whole combination, the ultra wide angle and the zoom, despite having all this sharpness added, HDR is a tiny bit better on the Zenfone 9, and the Honor 70 is keeping up, but it is not able to beat the Zenfone 9. This is why the Zenfone 9 is the overall winner, but you can tell me what you think who the winner is here. Which one is the clear winner? It's very, very interesting to see how the Honor 70 can compete with the compact flagship king, the Zenfone 9, in terms of camera performance. That shows that Honor is doing a good optimization or Zenfone doing a bad one. I like the Zenfone's gimbal camera very much. If the focusing issue wouldn't be there, if I do manual focus, it's wonderful. But I have to say that the Honor 70 by default with its main camera delivers the better video quality. For vlogging, I really like this a lot better. On the other hand, the Zenfone 9, I like the front-facing autofocus camera and 4K 30. That is very, very handy indeed, and for vlogging, very interesting. When it comes to photos, you saw and heard my conclusions about the photography. Which one is the winner, the clear winner for you right now? Write it down in the comment section. That's everything for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Until the next time, bye.